Welcome back into another episode of the Daft on Draft podcast. I am your host, Corey Kennan, alongside my co-host, Dalton Miller. We have no more NFL regular season. We have 2 more weeks of college football, and then we are out of football to watch for these 2025 NFL draft prospects. So that means we're getting deep into big boards, into some other fun. We'll get into some positional rankings, but our content schedule is going to change a little bit, but it's time for another mock draft. We haven't done a mock draft in probably 3 weeks now, so it's time to knock one out. In this one, Dalton and I alternated 1 through 16, or one even our odds evens. We're going to do 1 through 16 today. We went ahead and knocked out the mock draft before we record, so we have it in front of us and can just get through the picks as quickly as possible. But Dalton, how are you? Are you excited for some mock drafting?
Yeah, I'm always excited for some mock drafting. I had some kitchen incidents earlier, so I'm looking to get back on my feet here, finish the evening out strong with picks 1 through 16.
Love it. Well, let's get right in. I'm excited for this as well because my kids' daycare got canceled today, and I had to spend all day at home with a snow day with my kids, which is a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of stress, and so this is a good relief. Number 1, Dalton was picking odds. Tennessee Titans. We have a firm set draft order up through what, 18? Yeah, through 18. So Dalton, let's go for it.
Yeah, Abdul Carter. I know Tennessee fans want a quarterback. It's, in my opinion, not going to be a rookie. I think they're going to go out. They're going to try to get a free agent veteran guy who can come in and kind of just will this team through the 2026 season. I think that coaching staff and front office is okay for now. I think that they can survive another season, and then they will get their quarterback next year. I think the best thing that they could do, and I think what they would really want to do, is move down a couple of picks here, but they're going to take the best player, or maybe the second best player. Travis Hunter's probably the best player, but Abdul Carter definitely deserving of the number 1 overall pick and a freaky edge rusher.
Yeah. So I've been trying to figure it out too. So I reached out to somebody in the Titans media network, and I was like, hey, do you think, I was mainly thinking like trying to find a quarterback we'll talk about a little bit later, trying to find a landing spot for him. It's like, I don't think, I cover the Browns. I was like, I don't think my team is a fit for him. Is your team a fit for him? I was like, he could fall a little bit further than we think. But he said that he doesn't think they're drafting a quarterback either. And he even pointed out that Brian Callahan was Derek Carr's quarterbacks coach in Oakland in 2018. And the Saints are almost positive they're going to move on from Derek Carr. So There are some veteran options out there. So I do think that's probably the direction the Titans go in as well. Number 2, the Cleveland Browns. I love the pick because I love him as the best quarterback in this draft class. But again, we've gone through players 1 through 20 on our big boards, and Shedeur Sanders is not a top 20 player in this draft class for either of us. So I don't love the value of taking Shedeur Sanders 2nd overall. But what I do love is what I would perceive as Shedeur Sanders as fit in the Cleveland Browns offense. To be able to stand in structure, work his eyes backside, find backside digs. Pretty much the complete 180 from the quarterback play that they've experienced since week 11 in 2022, week 12 in 2022. So a little palate cleanser here. We're going to go Shedeur Sanders. He's got some pocket stuff to clean up, but he took strides this year, and I think that's coachable. I think it's coachable. So we're going to go Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, and to New York. This was a tough one because you could think about quarterback here, but the way that I thought about it was Brian Daboll and Joe Shane probably both have a year left. And the guy who you would be picking at number 3 overall, no matter what the situation is surrounding him in 2025, he should not play in 2025. And so they are not going to draft Cam Ward this year. They, again, another franchise who is going to try to go out and get a guy that is a free agent or be in the sweepstakes for J.J. McCarthy. And so I think that's where they go. And so you're looking elsewhere. And they just go with the best player available here. They're starting Adoree Jackson on one side, Deontay Banks on the other side. You can put Travis Hunter wherever you want to, wherever you need to defensively. And he can also help you out offensively as well if you want to play him in some sort of 50-50 role. They have Darius Slayton, who's a good player. Wan'Dale Robinson shows flashes. Malik Neighbors is a stud. But if you have some of the defensive pieces and some of the offensive pieces, you can really work Travis Hunter and see where you want him in the long term in that offense, defense, in that franchise.
Yeah, I love that. Take the best player on the board, best player in the draft, right there for New York. For New England Patriots, and this pick's going to receive a lot of hate because for some reason people don't love him, and I think it's because he had a down year production-wise, and he did play 80% of his snaps in the slot at Missouri. But Drake May needs a wide receiver, man. Jalen Polk did nothing. Javon Baker did nothing. Get this man a wide receiver. Get him a best friend. And I'm going to do one where you don't have to worry about can he separate him outside the number. You can manufacture this guy's touches like out the wazoo and take some pressure off of Drake May's shoulders. And again, I do think he can play Z. I do think he can play outside the number because he has the play strength to do it. It's evident on his tape. He has the body control to find balls on back shoulder fades, to contort his frame down the field and pluck the ball with late hands. So I'm going to go Luther Burden III to the Patriots right here to get Drake May a new friend.
Yeah, at number 5, the Jaguars were tough, man, because they're not a team that is shy of needs, which is unfortunate because you're looking at a team that paid a quarterback big money in Trevor, and so you're looking at this and how do they turn it around? And they need help at corner bad. They need help at corner bad. They need to fire both corner bad. They're not going to do that, as Shad Khan said today. And so they're going to go with Will Johnson. And I know that Will Johnson has kind of been maligned a little bit this year. Didn't play very much, was playing somewhat injured. People are questioning whether or not he has the long speed of, an elite cover corner, which I think is kind of ridiculous looking at his 2023 tape. And I think that if it wasn't for Travis Hunter and Travis Hunter's ball skills, we would be talking about Will Johnson's unbelievable ball skills, the ability to go up in the air and finish. And then not just that, but being a savvy zone coverage defender and being able to bait quarterbacks in that respect as well. So for me, it is Will Johnson to the Jags.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Number 6 to the Raiders. This is the most obvious one of them all. This is where Cam Ward's coming off the board. Ultimately, I do think a team like the Raiders are going to get desperate and find a way up the board to draft Cam Ward. But in this situation, he falls to them. Or Shador. They're going to find a way to draft a quarterback. Here, they're going to take Shador or take Cam Ward with the 6th overall pick and fix their quarterback situation or attempt to fix their quarterback situation.
Number 7 is an interesting one. When you look at the Jets, a lot of guys getting hurt, guys on IR, but Jermaine Johnson, first-round pick. Will McDonald, first-round pick. Quentin Williams, first-round pick. Why not just quadruple down on the first-round picks and go with Mason freaking Graham playing beside Quinnen Williams? Because Quinnen is, more of your 3-tech guy. He's somebody who can rush the passer. He's a good run defender as well. But you're talking about somebody in Mason Graham who can legitimately be a brick wall type of run defender with the violence that he possesses at 325 pounds and will also be the most dangerous truly interior pass rusher. I'm talking true 1-tech type guys in the NFL with what he can do. And then you're looking at 4 first-round picks on that defensive line with a good secondary behind them. What are they going to do at offense, at quarterback? Who knows? The Jets haven't figured out offense in 10 years. But get a good defense and figure out what you're going to do with the coaching staff offensively.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just take the best player available. Take the best player. They need a quarterback, and there's no quarterback worth taking. They need a lot, so just take the best player.
Yeah.
Number 8, another player that some might think is a reach, but I just love the fit with Ejiro Evero a ton. Again, they signed Jadeveon Clowney, and it hasn't worked out the way they had hoped, and they're probably moving off of him. So they are going to draft a guy here with the same body type as Jadeveon Clowney, with more explosiveness, more power, and I think even a little bit more pass rush plan than Clowney had coming out. I know he went first overall, but there's a reason Clowney has never been a double-digit sack guy in his career, right? So I'm taking Shamar Stewart to the Carolina Panthers right here. to bolster their pass rush attack off the edge.
So this next pick was really difficult for me because the Saints are going to have a fire sale. And it looks like Chris Olave was questionable to return last week, I believe. But if I remember correctly, he hasn't played at all. Like, right? I need to check this now because I just looked at the Chris Olave PFF. Because I just Googled it and it said that he was questionable for last week's game. Has he played? No, he hasn't played since week 9. So he still hasn't. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start over here with the 9th pick. The 9th pick, man, is tough. The Saints have always just kind of been in their own little world when it comes to drafting. They do what they want. I don't know what's happening with Chris Olave. 2 concussions this year. Hasn't played since week 9. I think that the best bet is to just add more receiving help. Even if Olave wants to come back, wants to be the guy next year, with those concussions, it becomes easier for your body to get more of them. And so you have Olave coming off of that. And then you have your huge weapon, Rashid Shaheed, who is also on IR. Get a guy who can be kind of more that chain mover. I think that he is a good complement to those two. He can also play in the slot or on the outside. And so this is where Tetaroa McMillan. I screw it up every single time. Tetaroa McMillan is going to go the Arizona wide receiver.
I love it. Yeah, I was going to say even beyond Olave, like Rashid Shaheed, for as good of a player is their wide receiver too. Like, yeah. And then beyond that, it's Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and Dante Pettis. So like, what are we doing here? Yeah. Chicago Bears, as hard as that pick was for you, this one's extremely easy for me. It's Will Campbell to the Bears here. I mean, Caleb Williams ran into a bunch of his own sacks. Caleb Williams still is not adjusted to playing instruction. He still tries to play the way he did at USC, and that has hurt him a lot this year. But both things can be true, that Williams needs to figure out how to play in structure, and that his interior offensive line did him no favors. So I think Will Campbell is a card, but I still think he's the best offensive lineman in the class. So Will Campbell to the Bears, 10th overall, right here.
And so the San Francisco 49ers are another interesting team. They've been looking for the opposite to Nick Bosa for a long time now. And they haven't really been able to find it. They brought in Yuta Gross-Matos, and I think that he's played somewhat well for them, but he isn't even their starter. He is, playing a rotational role. Leonard Floyd is the other starter. Leonard Floyd is now 33 years old, or he will be 33 years old next season. And so why not bring some young blood in? Why not have a Nick and Nick duo on the edge? They like bigger edge rushers. Leonard Floyd, I know, is not a bigger edge rusher. And it did make me think about James Pierce here. But we are going to go with Nick Scordon. It's what that defense has kind of been built on, the bigger edge rushers for the most part. And so that's where they're going to go here. Nick Scordon, fantastic technician. Get him down to about 265, and you're looking at an explosive dude with bend, can move, and is only going to be 21 years old.
Yep. 12 Dallas Cowboys. This one is one of the most fun players in the class. We rave about him all the time. But Tyler Ward, the Cowboys. Jake Ferguson had some flashes in 2023, not so much in 2024. Dak loves a good seam ball, man. Dak loves a good seam ball. And so I think you're going to go out and you're going to get a freak athlete in a 6'6", 260-pound frame, who you can get the ball in his hands in a variety of ways. So, we're gonna go Tyler Ward to the Cowboys right here.
And I was very happy that I could somewhat talk you into that pick because I want to see this pick so damn much. I know.
Well, to be fair, I was like off air. We did this off air, and I was like, this is a really obvious Janty pick. But then I was like, but it could be Tyler Warren. And you said, well, that's what I would do. And then it was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to do.
Yes, that is, and I don't like picking tight ends or running backs in the first round. But Tyler Warren to me is just that special. I mean, we saw Brock Bowers break the rookie receiving record or receptions record this year. Tyler Warren might not break the receptions record, but he might break the yards record for a rookie tight end. That is for damn sure. Ashton Janty at number 13. With the way that Miami was using their running backs this year, specifically A-Chain playing wide receiver for them, bring in Janty, bring in somebody who I know that he has a lot of mileage on him, but somebody who can survive in the backfield, because that has been a massive issue for, first of all, San Francisco, when it was Mike McDaniel being the run game coordinator there. And now also in Miami, they cannot keep running backs healthy. And I think that part of that has something.
So they're going to draft one with 400 carries this year,
and 800 plus touches in college. Yes, but he has been in good health. He has not been injured, and he is super explosive as well. So it's not like they're drafting a plotter in the first round, and it's not even like they're drafting somebody who can't catch the ball out of the backfield, because he led all running backs in receiving yards in 2023. They just didn't really use him like that in 2024. Plus, he is a fantastic pass protector, and you need to protect that quarterback specifically because he has concussion issues as well.
Yep. Show him the money. Indianapolis Colts. This is where Malachi Starks is coming off the board. Again, we've talked about how it's so hard to find a landing spot for safeties, but we actually found a spot for two safeties pretty easily in this one. First one is Malachi Starks here. Indianapolis Colts. They could use a corner. They could use any. They need to overhaul their secondary. So why not start with the best secondary player on the board here? And we're going to go Malachi Starks.
Mike Hughes is starting in Atlanta right now. So can you guess where we're going with this? We're going with Siobhan Revel. And I know Corey is a big. Is it Azariah?
Yeah, something like that. I'll have to look it up again. Actually, I hate
the pronunciation.
As well.
Azariah Thomas from Florida State is, I think, a name that is going to rise throughout the process here. But Siobhan Revel, if he would have remained healthy, would have went to the Senior Bowl, would have shown out. He is a freak athlete, like Corey has talked about on this podcast before. The best long speed in this class. The ability to turn and burn is outrageous with him. And when you look at the Atlanta Falcons, offensively, Michael Penix Jr. might be a little bit of a problem. He looked like he was playing pretty well. So they have the offensive line structure. We don't like any of the wide receivers this high, really, outside of the top two. So you can look at defensive line here, or you can look at corner. And for me, the bigger need is at corner. And let's just be real. When it's the last time the Atlanta Falcons drafted an edge rusher, and it's worked out?
Has it ever?
It doesn't work. It just doesn't work out. So like I would love to throw James Pierce here, but I mean, Ebikide, like all of these guys who have gone to Atlanta, like even Lorenzo Carter now, who looked decent in New York, is kind of just a rotational guy for them.
Zach Harrison has been playing well for them, but that's because they pretty much just kick him inside a 3 and 5 tech, and he only plays inside, which is fine because he was stiff as a board coming out of Ohio State. But yeah. All right, 16, Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are, I would say, the most difficult team to draft for. There's a variety of ways they could go. They could go right tackle. They could go safety. They could go corner. They could go defensive tackle. I'm going to go with the fun pick here, and I'm going to reunite some teammates. As funny as the Georgia to Philadelphia pipeline is, Arizona is building their own Ohio State to Arizona pipeline with their past 2 first-round picks as well, Paris Campbell and Marvin Harrison Jr. So we're going to keep that trend going, and we're going to reunite a couple of Ohio State receivers here. And I love the combination route trees that Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka can run in Arizona. Again, Greg Dortch is their slot, and I really do think Greg Dortch is a pretty good football player. They have Michael Wilson, Michael Wilson is fine, I guess, but like, go get another consistent wide receiver to play opposite Marvin Harrison Jr., eat up the middle of the field, be that guy that can present a safety valve for a quarterback who honestly looked very shaken a lot this year, which I think was a little surprising. I thought he would settle into Drew Petzing's system a little better than he did in Kyler Murray. But Emeka Egbuka to the Cardinals right here.
Yeah, and listen, Trey McBride has been huge for them. So if you have Trey McBride and Emeka Egbuka to really dominate middle of the field and help out somebody who has always struggled to throw over the middle of the field, that would be very, very nice for that offense and open some things up probably for Marvin Harrison Jr. a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely love it. Love it. All right. Well, those are picks 1 through 16. We'll be back tomorrow, 17 through 32. Again, 17, 18 are our firm draft picks. Bengals and Seahawks are picking 17, are picking 18. And then we get into the playoff teams after that, and that can always obviously change. But we'll get into those picks tomorrow. Dalton, what is your favorite pick of these first 16 picks, would you say?
Of the first 16 picks, I think, selfishly, I think my favorite is Mason Graham playing beside Quinnen Williams and in between Jermaine Johnson and Will Campbell. Just a disgusting front four. And I do think teams that build those types of fronts, I mean, they already have the talent on the back end. Yeah. So that should be a darned good defense that never has to blitz.
Yep, I love it. Jancy to the Dolphins, man. It's really been clicking for me with how much they use Achane in the slot and how often they get him in the ball in space to have another running back that you can put them both on the field together. I'm a big fan of that fit as well. But that is it for this episode of the Daft on Draft podcast. Again, tomorrow we'll be back with the second part of this mock draft. Tap in, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, comment. What's your favorite pick? What's your least favorite pick? Call us idiots. We didn't pick the player you want. That always happens in mock drafts, right? So let us know. Let us know. Let us have some fun. So until next time, I'm Corey. That's been Dalton. And this is the Daft on Draft podcast.